Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm here to talk about one stock. You guys probably saw from the title of the video, that's why you're watching this. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate the support. We just hit 500 subscribers, so I'm making this video for you guys. If you haven't watched my other videos, we have a lot of new viewers. And also, this is just a nice little update on what's going on with my favorite stock in the stock market. So let's get right to it. Great time in the portfolio to be at $24,000. Very happy with that. But let's check out this stock. This stock is SoFi Technologies, ticker symbol SoFi, SOFI. This company is, to say the least, on a tear. They're up 70% year to date. They're up 81% in the past 3 months, 250% in the past year. And they haven't even been a public company for 5 years, but they're up 131%. They're still up that much. They haven't even been out for 5 years yet. So pretty impressive things going on with SoFi Technologies. This is a banking company, if you did not know that. They're a financial service platform. They offer loans. They offer, just like any other bank does, like Wells Fargo, Chase, JP Morgan. And then they also offer accounts for the public, things of that nature. They offer it all. They're basically a bank, but they also do have some technology aspects. That's why the PE ratio is higher. They're in the tech space. So this isn't like a Wells Fargo or a Chase or a JP Morgan in that aspect, but in the other ones it is. So they're just a little bit more, developed and in depth than them. Earnings, they're crushing every quarter. That's why this is my favorite stock in the stock market. Another reason is the strong thesis that I have for this company. So before we even get into the financials and the earnings presentation, guys, this is the most important thing you'll take away from this video. If you want to stop watching after this, do it. I think that this, consensus alone is what's going to make you money with SoFi. I think the financials are great. We're going to go over those, but I think this is the thing that's actually going to, propel SoFi way farther. So we see SoFi, how many employees do they have? They have 5,000 employees. How many locations do they have? Have you ever seen a SoFi location? Probably not, because they don't have any. So SoFi is a purely digital platform, and they have a market cap of $30 billion. They're offering all the same things as all these other banks, by the way. $30 billion market cap, and they have 5,000 employees. So let's look at Wells Fargo, one of the biggest banks in the US, second biggest, I think, to Chase, actually, JP Morgan. They have 217,000 employees. That's a little bit more, to say the least. That's more than 43 times the amount of employees that SoFi has, and they also have a market cap of $252 billion. So SoFi would need to almost 10x from where they're at right now to reach that market cap, which I think they're going to do. But I mean, they also don't pay 217,000 employees on payroll. They don't have all the locations that Wells Fargo has, where Wells Fargo is paying a lease on all of these locations. Money is coming out of their top line. This is, their profit margins as a bank aren't amazing. If you do look at the company, they do pay out a 2% dividend, which doesn't help, but they're not, perfect. And they have that $250 billion market cap, which SoFi is going to blow past, I think, here in the future. But they have 217,000 employees, which they all have on payroll. That's cutting out from the top line a good amount. And then they have all those leases at their physical locations. If you've been to one recently, you know that they're, it's messed up. No one really goes inside anymore. It's not really, it's just not how banking works. You can cash checks online. You can deposit cash at an ATM. There's just no reason to go in person anymore. And it's just how it is. But there is reason for some people, for the older crowd. That's what they're used to. That's what they're used to doing. So, and that's Wells Fargo's most popular customer base, is the older crowd, the boomers and people over the age of 50, 40 maybe even. But that's their most popular crowd. That's who's going to Wells Fargo. That's who's going to JP Morgan, which has 317,000 employees and a market cap of $800 billion. That's who's going to these places inside to their, that's their customer base. That's everyone that comes to these banks is doing that. And they'd be up in arms if they decided to, okay, we're going to break all of our leases. We're going to stop paying that. The company's top line would go up a lot. Their profit margins would go up a lot. Their revenue would go up a lot, but all their customers would be gone. So it probably wouldn't work out. But that's the thing. SoFi is attracting the younger crowd, which they don't even want to go in person to the bank. Me, I'm 19. I don't even want to go in person to the bank. I've never been. I've taken money out. I took out a good amount of money recently, actually, of the bank, and I went in for the first time. I'm a member of Wells Fargo. I'm going to transfer over to SoFi, actually, because I believe in it so much. I like them a lot better. But that's just what I started with, because that's what my parents did, and then their parents did that. So that's just kind of how it is. But SoFi doesn't have that. I mean, SoFi, they don't have that longevity yet. You see, they haven't even been a public company for 5 years. But people that are a SoFi member right now, which, let's get into the investor presentation. I've been talking about that for a while, but I do really think that's very important. But people that are SoFi members right now, which we look at this, their members are at a compounding annual growth rate at a clip of 51%. They're growing at a compounding annual growth rate of 51% in members. How does a company even do that? I don't know. That's insanity, to be growing at that rate. You see 34% year-over-year growth right there. That's just insane, honestly, to say the least. There's no other word to categorize that. But we see their members are growing, and then their members' net worth, as they grow older, which their members are the younger crowd, that's who they're, honestly attacking. That's who they're looking to get into their business model, which is working. A lot of the younger crowd is getting into SoFi. They're getting into SoFi, and then after them, their kids are going to get into it. And as that younger crowd gets older, that's how, your net worth increases with age and time. It's kind of just a never ending, SoFi's going to make money and grow as a company very linearly, very obviously. So that's why I really like SoFi right there. I mean, just look at this again. Compounding annual growth rate of 51% on increasing members. Just take that in. We see their durable growth, adjusted net revenue. Oh my gosh, 44% year-over-year growth in this quarter. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. 44% year-over-year growth for a company that's consistently doing that. It's insane. Adjusted net revenue, year-over-year growth. Say it with me. 74%. Fee-based revenue, year-over-year growth, 72%. It's insane. I mean, honestly, just to say the least, these growth rates are just, out of the park. That's why the stock is up so much, obviously. But it's just insane to see these growth rates and how great they are. I mean, also the tangible book value is increasing, because why not? Why not increase that? But yeah, I mean, the revenues, all the financials look amazing. Their balance sheet looks great. SoFi is a company that has amazing financials. And this didn't happen until recently. That's also why SoFi is up a lot too. If we look at right here, let's look at their earnings. Let's pull this up. Because the funny thing is, SoFi, you can still see right here, they were barely profitable in Q2 fiscal year 2024. So exactly a year ago from this earnings presentation we're doing right now, they were barely profitable. And then even before this, they were unprofitable. I was investing in SoFi before they were making $1. They were in debt as a company. I mean, now they're doing very well, but I was investing in SoFi when they weren't making any money at all. That's how much I believed in them. So now that they're making money, which I knew they'd do, I'm just putting even more in. I mean, it's hard not to, And then they have their technology platform segment, which accounts are growing as well. Really like to see that. Look at in Q2 2025, their accounts almost reached more than the whole of 2024. So that's not too bad. That's okay, just to say the least. But yeah, they have their app, their digital app as well, which I really like. Their funding and net interest margin growing as well. Why not? Just grow that too. Doesn't matter. SoFi Technologies, let's look at their capital ratios. We see that's looking very good. Guidance, we see that their fiscal year guidance, their prior guidance was less than what it is right now. So now their prior guidance was 24 to 27%. They're doing 30%. That's their guidance now, which when a company increases guidances, that's just a great sign. I mean, you're doing better than you even thought you would do. It's just, it's hard to beat that. And then these are all of the growth rates again, kind of just broken down into graph form. So a lot of these financials as well, which you can take a look at yourself. I really, I've looked through them deeply, and this company is set up for success. Their business model and what they're doing with the company is just as good, but at the same time, they are truly set up to win in the stock market. I mean, their business model is good enough as it is, and then their financials back that up. And then they have, a lot of what you look for in a bank, select balance sheet information. We see their cash and cash equivalents over $2 million. This company is all right. Their total assets are $41 million. Total liabilities, same thing there. This company is set up for success. I really like SoFi too, because their PE ratio is high. This is a richly valued company because their business is so great. SoFi has such a great business that they can be valued that richly. And look at their 62-week low, $6. This company is growing so fast. I mean, yeah, their 62-week low is just about a year now, so that's going to be gone very soon. But yeah, this is a great company. I think that even right now, that's the thing too, you cannot be scared to invest in SoFi right now. When they IPO'd, they jumped all the way to $25. They're worth right around there right now. There's definitely a 52-week high for the company. Look at this, is their all-time chart. They've never been this expensive, but they've never been this good either. So don't not invest in SoFi because you're waiting for it to drop, because hell, SoFi might cut in half tomorrow. It might be worth $12 tomorrow. But if it is, be sure that I'm doubling down. I'm dollar cost averaging down, because I think SoFi is a buy right now. They're going to be worth more than $25. This chart looks a lot like another chart that I've seen before. That's the thing. SoFi looks like this right now. From here, when it went from 35 down to 7, all the way back up to 16, and then back up to the same range, the 35 range again. That's what SoFi looks like right now. But SoFi is just, I mean, on Palantir you can't even tell that happened. It all looks the same price. It was, that price movement was so small compared to where it is right now. And that's the same reason. Growth rates slowed. SoFi growth rates slowed. Now they're on the best business run they've ever been on. And you see, if you didn't invest right here in Palantir when it was at 35, you're like, oh, it's too expensive. This is how much the stock, this is all-time high for the stock. Then you could have turned that 35 into right here. You could have sold at a 52-week high of 190 from $30. So you would have more than 6x your money. Or you could have said, Palantir is too expensive, I don't want to invest. So it's up to you when you want to invest in these companies. But I think that if you do believe in the business model, you can always dollar cost average down. Companies can be richly valued even if they're great businesses, but I think SoFi, that's not the case. It definitely is, a richly valued stock, but for all the right reasons. I mean, they deserve it. So that's all I have for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy it, be sure to smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel. Now we're on the way to 1,000 subscribers. That's our next stop. So thank you guys so much for the support. Catch you in the next one. Peace.